Welcome in, YouTube, to patch 7.5 Trail to the Heavens for Final Fantasy XIV, where this video is going to be the MSQ, and I will do a separate video that is the final Alliance raid of the Echoes of Vana'diel. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below and let me know what you thought of this video, and that you can catch me live on Twitch, where I stream sporadically at the moment, so you should follow over there and hit the bell and all that stuff for notifications. And yeah, let's get on over to the gameplay, where we are literally outside the house of the estate. I probably should have gotten better at being where the quest was going to start, but you know, of course I didn't do that, but that's okay. We're going to the resolution. People are already talking about the extreme. Ooh, we got Graha here, okay. Warm fare thee wells can ease the sting of partings, as we come to terms with an absence not soon forgotten. To tell those we hold dear what they've meant to us and wish them the best, we should seize the chance whensoever we can. Oh, I don't need to talk to you again. In Fate's footsteps. I trust you were able to get plenty of rest. Good. I thought we might take a moment to ponder our next steps and perhaps reflect on our recent journey. I must admit my thoughts often drift to the Mist Continent and our stay in Trino. It was heartening to see the Milala prosper despite the odds, and my own flesh and blood strive in that leaven-racked landscape. Sphene was eager to restore diplomatic relations, and I have no doubt that Alexandria will provide much-needed support for their neighbor. I should probably close my blinds. I too shall do everything I can to aid my home away from home, my wonderful, welcoming family included. For the time being, though, I'd say we've accomplished all within our power. I suppose that just leaves the matter of preservation's research. It is yet unclear how Calyx learned the techniques he used to summon his dark primal. And there is likewise much that remains unknown about the key. Let us hope that Shale's efforts bear more fruit. Here's hoping. Can you hear me? Shale and I have been reviewing the decrypted files, and I have uncovered some intriguing details. Would you care to join us? That's Y'shtola, by the way. We'll be with you right away. Excellent. Shale seems rather eager to speak with you all. Come and find us in the Deutero Lab when you're ready. Uncanny timing indeed. Let us make for the containment complex. Hold on. I know, chat. He says as he is not dealing with chat because he's not streaming. Okay, speak with Shale in the Deutero Lab. Okay, so that's this way. $7.85, is that better than the current Savage stuff? No, current Savage will be like $7.95. Or something like that. Nope, that's not where I'm going. Over here. Lift attendant. Heading for the containment complex, right this way. Yes, proceed to containment complex 1029. Now I feel like that's way... There we go, that's better. Is this still like the same data terminal stuff as last time? Personnel protocols. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly, both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms, the Researcher's Commons, the Proto Lab, or the Deutero Lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to the highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed within this complex, Preservation retains the ownership of and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. Research objectives. The primary research objective of Containment Complex 1029 is the indefinite preservation of the Endless. Continued improvements to soul cell and regulator functionality are intended to facilitate the Endless Fiend's management of living memory. It is via this process of iteration that we endeavor to identify and resolve any and all issues inherent in Endless creation. Chief among known issues is our present inability to control the key. Or if we fail to secure the reflections as additional sources of ether, our ultimate goal will remain forever out of reach. Leadership personnel. Complex Director Demetrius, Protolab Chief, EOS4, Deutero Lab Chief Redacted. I don't know if those were in like the last patch, I don't remember. This way. Music here is pretty good. Stola and Shale. Given that all data is stored within electrode devices, Shale's expertise has proven invaluable. Let there be voice acting? Possibly? Please?
Ah, you're just in time for a progress report. The decryption is finally complete. As we suspected, the data represents a partial record of Preservation's research documents. A quick scan of the files, however, failed to turn up the information Y'shtola was after.
Indeed. No mention of the Ascians, or primal summoning techniques for that matter. While Calyx doubtless received instruction from someone possessed of such knowledge, there was naught to identify this benevolent mentor. I am, however, pleased to say that we found several reports concerning the key.
Let's go.
We know the key is used to open paths between worlds, and was a treasured relic of the Milala. And just as the Milala were unable to return after reaching the Mist Continent, so too was Preservation unable to gain a mastery of the prize which had passed into their possession. The data suggests that a particular formula or procedure is required. A process which Calyx appears to have understood to some degree. Yet the key proved fickle. Perfectly replicating conditions was no guarantee of success. And even when they did manage to generate a modest portal, the destination was never the one they expected. The reports practically screamed their frustration, describing the experience as being dragged around by a traveler picking roads without rhyme or reason. Serves them right, I say.
After much trial and error, Preservation began to experiment with external actuation devices for the key. Striving to maintain a stable pathway to a chosen location, they conceived of the technology that forms the gate to the Golden City.
So, their tribulations ultimately afforded them control of the key, albeit in a limited capacity, which, of course, explains why they were able to instruct Zoralja in its use, thus enabling the unprecedented feat of transferring Everkeep and its environs to the source. After the Endless Fiend took the key unto herself, She opened pathways to other reflections in her hunt for ether, did she not?
The Milala merely used it to facilitate their exodus. To think what the key has now wrought in different hands.
I'm still not convinced that's Jonathan Bailey anymore for Graha. Which, unfortunate if it's not. But also understandable with how much, like, movies that he's been getting lately. Like, that's fair. Totally fair.
For all we know, the actuation device augmented the key's power beyond its intended scope. Were your goal to plunder whole worlds of their ether, a tool designed to simply transfer people would likely be insufficient.
Shale, I don't suppose you would be able to remove the actuation device?
The machine made for that very purpose is still functional, thankfully. It shouldn't be a problem.
What do you think? We don't even know how the key works. If the device is somehow interfering or amplifying its capabilities, I believe we ought to remove it.
I think that seems fair. Also a little worrisome.
Give me a moment.
It just unscrews? Honestly, we were probably strong enough. We could have done that. It's not like opening a jar.
My word.
What does Stola see?
Stola?
This is the first time I've beheld the key in all its unobscured glory. The sheer density is extraordinary. 'Tis akin to the structures we saw beneath the Tempest.
Really?
Now that you mention it, the ornamentation is reminiscent of Amarot.
Yeah, actually.
Have you noticed anything since the key has been in your possession?
I'm gonna be honest, I still really thought we had given it to Y'shtola at the end of 7.0. It reminds me of Zim's crystal. It really does.
You're suggesting the key has some connection with Azim?
Azim is the traveler, and it lets us go between, like, reflections, yeah?
A plausible theory, although one we are yet unequipped to prove.
My apologies. Hello? Yes, this is Cryle speaking. That was Ojika with a message for us.
Oh, from Charlian?
An urgent matter?
I'm not altogether sure. Tataru requires our counsel, and hoped to call upon us in person at the Baldessian Annex.
Let's go! We get to see Kryl!
Though disappointed we were not present, she appeared content to wait until our travels brought us back to Charlian, insisting that it did not merit our immediate summons. Her tone suggested otherwise, however, and Ojika felt compelled to contact us directly.
Okay.
Mayhap the time has come for another journey across the salt.
You'd best go. Though I'll not deny that I'll be sad to see you leave.
Oh, Shale. I can't even begin to thank you for all you've done. We will be forever indebted to you and your Oblivion colleagues.
The debt is ours. We'll never forget the sacrifices you've made for us, for Alexandria. In the meantime, I shall keep sifting through the data. You'll hear as soon as I find anything of note.
Yeah! Let's go.
Actually, I should like to stay here a little longer, if you don't mind.
Oh.
You are most welcome.
And
All
might
right.
I borrow the key for a while? I wish to study it further. With the utmost care, I assure you.
First off, Y'shtola, I assumed you had the key pretty much this entire time, so I'm a little blown away that you didn't. Second, I totally see why people ship them. Shale and Y'shtola.
Well then, shall we be off? Ojika will be expecting us.
Trail to the heavens. Now, am I gonna have to teleport myself there, or is it just gonna take me to... Ah, okay. That makes sense. Alright, let's see what Shale has to say. My colleagues will be just as saddened by your departure. Until we meet again, safe journeys. Given that preservation could not unlock the secrets of the key, it should come as no surprise that we too struggle to understand its nature. In any event, do give Tataru my regards when you see her. Ah, not to mention that we also uncovered information unrelated to the key. According to Shale, certain confidential reports are now accessible via devices in the Researcher's Commons and the Director's Office. You might want to peruse the files before you depart for Charlian. Good to know. Okay, so we already did the Researcher's Commons one. Then she said in the Director's Office as well. Cluttered side table. Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumably the Director's data tablet. Examine the data tablet. Upon activating the device, a newly accessible section titled Memory Duplication catches your eye. It is well known that the Alexandrian royal family promulgated a number of fundamental principles governing endless research. Among these was the strict prohibition on memory duplication. However, in the wake of the storm surge, the provisional government sought to revise this prohibition to make one key exception: Queen's Fee. The decision was ultimately made to equip her endless counterpart with a Tiara variant regulator, thereby enabling the routine backup of her memories. Intriguingly, it was Master Calyx who objected most strenuously to this proposal. It was his assertion that one's corporeal form, whether flesh and blood or endless construct, is nothing more than a vessel, and that as a vessel it is to be modified and experimented upon should circumstances require it. Memory, however, was sacrosanct and inviolable, the very essence of life and personhood. When Master Calyx eventually acquiesced to the provisional government's request, a number of this facility's personnel duplicated their memories to verify the efficacy of the technology. Yet Master Calyx refused to even entertain the notion. To this day, he has avoided creating even a single backup of his own memories, a resolution which I myself have chosen to emulate. Okay. Can I look in the locker again? Is it still like just a bunch of stuff of Calyx? Okay. I wasn't sure if like maybe they had redecorated it. To Charlian. I thought it best to hear what Ojika has to say ere we meet with Tataru. I do hope she is well. Oh dear. It occurs to me that I neglected to bring gifts from Tyrol. Considering the extra work they've had to handle in my absence, I dare say I owe them a veritable mountain of snacks at the very least. Welcome back! And what a pleasure it is to see you too, Arilith. Thank you for contacting us, Ojika. We came as soon as we could. Of course. I felt it prudent given how troubled Tataru was. Your concern is much appreciated. As it so happens, we'd reached a convenient juncture in our investigation. Shale and Y'shtola have matters well in hand, leaving us free to make this trip. That's a relief to hear. Now let me fetch Tataru for you. Why don't you take a moment to relax in the main hall? I'm sure you all still well fatigued from your journey. They may be. I'm not. I just teleported here. Took nothing at all. Given how frequently Tataru is away on the business these days, 'tis a small miracle we are in the same place at the same time. Only now is it beginning to feel like we've actually returned. Such fond memories within these four walls. Yeah. From nearly an expansion ago at this point.
Planning your next journey?
Oh no, just reminiscing. Thinking back to when you bought this map, and how you all encouraged me to make the voyage to Tyrol.
Are you glad you did?
As if you need ask. Welcome back.
I could be Obi-Wan. No. He says hello there. Why did I think he said it's been a while? No, that's Solidus from Metal Gear. Holy cow. Metal Gear Solid 2 specifically. It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper. Wonderful to see you again, Tataru.
I'm so glad you're here.
Ojika contacted us. He intimated that you were rather concerned. Come to think of it, Alphino said he and Alize would pay you a visit upon their return. Have you not seen them?
Oh no, they were here. I was regaled with many a tale of your Turali adventures. It was only once they departed for Garlemord that the rumors came to my attention. Rather alarmingly, void-sent sightings seem to be on the rise across the star. I was reluctant to bother you with mere hearsay, especially when you had more pressing matters to contend with. But earlier I received a confidential report from the Grand Company of Eorzea. It's as if a mighty dam has been breached, flooding the land with foul creatures. For a blessing, most nations have managed to keep the invaders in check, and casualties appear to be minimal thus far. Though the same cannot be said for those regions with a deeper connection to the void. Their fissures continue to manifest without end, putting countless innocents in danger.
A deeper connection to the void. Garlemald is the home of the Reapers, is it not?
It is. Alphino and Alize were there when the trouble began, and have since sent word that the situation has taken a dreadful turn.
Short while earlier in Tertium.
Thus concludes the abridged account of our time in Tural. Now I shall leave you with the words of the late Dawn Servant, Galul Jajar. Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship. A notion that rings true for Eorzeans no less than it does for the diverse peoples of Tuliolal.
And for Garleans as well. Even sharing something as simple as a local dish can pave avenues of understanding. It's up to all of us to forge new bonds, together.
Thank you for sharing your tale. Better they hear it firsthand than endure my clumsy retelling. Your words give me hope that we might achieve something similar here in Garlemald.
We all have the capacity to affect change. Our time in Tural taught us that much. And now that we've returned, it's time we rolled up our sleeves and got back to work.
I've already sent missives to the other nations, informing them of our Alexandrian friends. I also intend to notify the Garlean community officially. If both sides are amenable to the proposition, we shall gladly assist in establishing diplomatic relations with Alexandria and Tuliolol.
He's always been good at politics.
Thank you. But are you sure you've recovered from your journey? It sounded like you've hardly had time to catch your breath.
Sir! Lapis Manalis is overrun with void scent. We've sustained heavy civilian casualties.
What?
Clutium Squadron reporting in. We're under attack. Void scent appeared out of nowhere and ambushed us during a routine inspection. Damn it. Is that another fissure? Oh, no, no, no! Ah!
Uh-oh.
My comrades are under attack. We have to do something.
There's no time to lose! Come on!
The Garlean community is ill-equipped to defend themselves against such a threat. Even with the aid of the twins and the Ilzabard contingent, they face daunting odds.
Well, I guess I know where we're going.
We shall leave for Garlemald immediately.
Thank you. I was able to contact Thancred and Urianger too. They're already on their way. With any luck, you'll be able to rendezvous with them on arrival.
All right. Are we about to be at, Oh, we are. Good. Okay, well, let's talk to Kryl and them first. Clearly, we made the right decision to come to Sharlayan, though I dearly wish the circumstances of our return were not so grave. Don't believe we've seen Thancred and Urianger since our battle with the Endless Fiend, have we? They too must have returned here at some point. 33 minutes in, and we finally beat the first quest. I've been told Alfino and Alize have withdrawn to Tertium to request aid on the front lines. They seemed intent on rejoining the battle once reinforcements were ready, but I shall tell them to wait until you arrive. Okay. Nah, we'll take the silver piece. Oh, now Graha's got something. Sorry to send you packing so soon after your homecoming, but Garlemald desperately needs your aid. And then Kryl said the same thing. Two worlds entwined. And just like that, we find ourselves faced with another emergency. Fortunately, there is yet time for us to make a difference. Let us make haste for Tertium. Yes, let us make haste for Tertium. Actually, how much nuts do I have? Currency. Not enough. Tertium. It's been so long since I was making Dawn Trail trips on the regular. Dawn Trail Endwalker trips on the regular. I've forgotten where my teleports are. Alright, Alize. Oh, and there's Thancred and Urianger. Thank you for coming at such short notice. I'm glad you're here. It's been far too long, Arilith. Well met, my friend. Now, let us hearken unto Alfino's words. Ah, Arilith, you've made it in time. Okay.
You picked a frosty spot for a reunion.
Tataru sent word that you were coming. Full glad am I to see you all. though I'm afraid this is no time for pleasantries. Planar fissures have opened up across Garlemald, inundating the region with void scent. As far as we can ascertain, there are 2 focal points of their assault. The Ilzabard contingent are combating the threat in Lapis Manalis. Although they have suffered casualties, they appear to have the upper hand.
As well they should. The many talented Uldan thaumaturges among them should be more than capable of closing any fissures they encounter.
Well, then we need a thaumaturge or a black mage.
Which leaves the second focal point, the Clutium. Eulus and the Garlean community are attempting to mount a counterattack, but are struggling to cope with the sheer number of voidsent. They've fallen back to the north of the Imperial Palace. Can you lend your aid in securing the area?
Sure.
With your blessing, I would tend to the wounded returning from battle.
Of course, Kryl. Thank you. The quickest route from here to the front is via the train tracks. Once we arrive, we can support the Garlean forces as we make for the fissure in the munitions factory.
The Clitium, now accessible. I'm gonna make the joke that everyone's making, probably. At least I'll be able to find it, maybe. Enter with a party of other players. Let's pop some food real quick. How many of the hollow blades? Let's stand up and let's get ready for this dungeon. Ilzabard, Laclitium. All right, lots of void scent. I got a party of Rogadins and a How long is this hallway?
You're a sight for sore eyes.
Okay.
Appreciate the help. We'll handle things from here. Take care of the fisher.
Okay. Alright, well this guy looks pretty cool. It's like a void scent scorpion, guard scorpion. Okay, I see how that works. That's interesting. Okay, so that actually does a lot of damage. That hurts. This is a cool fight. Interesting looking enemy. This is another interesting fight. I like where they're going with the fight designs. Like, it's not just... Dungeon design is still like 2 pulls boss, 2 pulls boss, whatever. But like the actual fight design is feeling good. Where are we going now? This feels like Sonic the Hedgehog now at this point. We're going through the little tube things. right. What do we got? Masterful Manipulator, Malthus. Bum, 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 bum. Am I the only new person here? No, okay. Swargus and... okay.
Welcome to my domain, mortals.
I should have mitigated that. Okay. Is this going to be an ad phase? No.
Now for something different.
Okay, so big guys do cones, little guys do point blanks. We solved that, but I don't really know how. I've got nothing for this one, I'm sorry. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I used that on the wrong person. GG, y'all. GG. That was a fun dungeon. That was a really fun dungeon. All right. I'm assuming this is going to be voice acted.
I think that's all of them.
We need but seal the fissure to prevent further ingress.
It's over. I can only imagine the extent of the damage were it not for your aid. On behalf of the Garlean community, I thank you for all you've done for my people, for my home.
I shall close the fissure post-haste.
Wait! If you do that, I will be trapped here.
You risked your life in vanquishing the creature. Would you at least let me bear the burden of deciding its fate? You want to go back? To the void? Your kind have entered this realm before. Some seeking death that they might rejoin the life stream. But you would choose that dark, deathless place?
The wind is fresh and pure, untouched by darkness. Perhaps it won't be a blessing to meet my end in such a place. But I cannot yet bear to part with the void. If only the winds would blow there, as they do here. I long to return, to see my home unsullied, as it once was.
We know that pain all too well. If that is your wish, you must forsake this aggression. Go back to the void and devote yourself to its restoration. I have a friend, Zero, who hails from your home. She and her companions strive to bring light into the void from another world blighted with imbalance. I hear their efforts have already met with some success. One day, they'll drive the darkness from the void, I'm sure of it.
His form is imbued We shall return to our world and seek out this Zero. Then we shall see if there is truth in your words.
She won't disappoint you. That much I guarantee.
Bravo! I think Zero will approve.
Oh, I...
Indeed, that was truly heartening to see.
Understanding begets fellowship, right? I thought I might lead by example.
Well then, shall we head back?
I feel like there's an audio desync. Alright, let's talk to everyone real quick. That boy's come a long way. All credit to Zero for nudging him in the right direction. With the Clitium's fissure sealed, I dare say the Void-Sent incursion is at an end. Void-Sent not only absorb the ether of those they consume, but their thoughts as well. Such a legion of minds at their disposal, one hopes they prove a capable ally for Zero. You have my heartfelt appreciation. Without your intervention, I have no doubt the casualties would have been far greater. Arilith was quick to put our words, or rather those of the Dawn Servant, into practice. There's like a half a second delay. Hold on, I'm gonna get that sorted out real quick, YouTube. Give me just a second. Alright, we're back, YouTube. Yeah, apparently there was a delay of like half a second. Reports have begun trickling in. By all accounts, the Ilsabard contingent was successful in containing the threat on their front. A void sent to attack in such numbers just as we were finding our feet. I daren't imagine the consequences had you not provided such timely aid. On behalf of my comrades, thank you. Thank you all. Let's grab skill speed, why not? Alright, Thancred.
The Ilsabard contingent have contained the threat on their front. Things appear to be under control for the time being.
Yeah, that seems so much better.
Though it remains unclear why the fissures opened up in the first place. According to Tataru, similar ruptures are occurring across the star.
Interesting.
One thing is clear, however. The phenomenon is not without pattern. The tendency for fissures to emerge is pronounced in regions deeply connected to the void. Places where the barrier between the two worlds is at its thinnest.
The moon.
I fear there may be a place in far greater peril than Garlemald. Though it hath since been sealed, you will recall there is a great void gate that we ourselves had cause to open.
Yes.
A gate which was instrumental in our bid to reunite Vritra with his sister and put an end to Golbez's dark plot.
Oh gods. The moon.
With our attention fixed upon planar fissures, I failed to consider this vulnerability. All other paths unto the void are but pinpricks in the veil compared to that great lunar rift.
And that rift might be yawning open as we speak. We'd better hurry.
Let us make for Bestway's Burrow. I dare say the Loporrits are well aware of current events.
We ought to have Kryl join us once she finishes tending to the wounded. I shall likewise contact Y'shtola. Her knowledge of the moon's void gate is second to none.
A number of my fellow Garleans now call Mare Lamentorum home. Alphino, Alize, please see they come to no harm.
That's how it's pronounced? Mare Lamentorum? I kept calling it Mare Lamentor. Actually, I kept saying Mare Lamentorium.
We'll be back before you know it.
A quick word, if you will. I'm not sure whether you'll run into Zero during the course of all this, but if you do, would you give this to her? Emergency rations, in case of a protracted battle. Can't imagine she's eating all that well in the void.
Is it booze?
She likes dumplings.
It is. That's adorable. Look at them running around.
We're doomed! Doomed, I say!
Given thy panicked state, I presume the Loporrits too are beset with void scent.
Oh, what sweet relief it is to see you all! Yes, void scent, and lots of them. They suddenly came pouring forth from the crater.
I had dearly hoped to find my worries unfounded.
For some unknown reason, the void gate seems to have partially opened. Living May dashed off to activate the brands and halt the fiend's invasion. But she hasn't come back, and we've since lost contact.
Well, then we need to go get Living Way.
I suggest we make for the brands without delay.
Agreed, Urianger. Yeah, I know that means me. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Beleaguered Loporrit. My valiant savior. I was so frightened I dared not move an elm. Oh, you're looking for Livingway? I think I saw her heading southwest, towards the Drowning Brand. She had several slaughterbots in tow, but I worry they won't be enough for all the void scent. You'd better hurry. Better hurry. Meow. Ooh, more voice acting.
Saved! I dread to think what would have befallen me if you hadn't intervened. Oh, I was never in any real danger, of course. I knew you would realize our plight and rush to our rescue.
Well, sounds about right.
Atheris is likewise plagued with void scent. If only we'd prioritized further development of the void scent slaughterbots, we could have stemmed the tide ourselves. Oh, what a tremendous demonstration that would have been. Irrefutable proof that I was mankind's staunchest ally and the greatest lubberate to ever live. I can practically taste the praise. Fortunately, I was able to activate the brands. Should any more void scent emerge from the gate, they ought to be confined to the crater. Unless, of course, the void gate begins to expand of its own accord, or some gargantuan monstrosity tries to barge through, I don't foresee any major problems.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Oh, nope. We're doomed.
There you are.
And there's Stola.
I left the data in Shale's capable hands and teleported here as soon as I heard. And ere you ask, I made sure to bring the key with me.
I genuinely don't care. I thought you've had the key for this entire post-game.
Then the real threat yet awaits us.
'Tis Golbez's domain beyond the Void Gate. I wonder how he and Zero are faring.
Well, let's go find out. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. They match.
12.
Uh-oh. Behold the gift of ethos. Yours is a journey without end, conceived and guided by principle. Hold fast to what you must and meet your fate without fear. Fourth, discover. Unite the stars unto one. Let none bar your path. I'm surprised we haven't met Halmaret left yet. Okay. Okay.
They're headed your way. Let them come.
Yeah, that's Golbez and Zero. Something's gonna strike it, yep. There she is. Paladin Zero.
What are you doing here?
Don't worry about it. A visit felt long overdue.
Only you could be so carefree amidst all this. May as well make yourself useful.
Okay.
The gate's sheer size appears to have made it a tempting target.
There's our trial.
Enuo, a dread void scent risen from the benighted depths of the ocean. They kept to the confines of their domain while Zeromus endured. No longer, it would seem. And once they had discovered a path to the Red Moon, they wasted no time in making the journey.
Leave the void scent nearby to us. You take care of Enuo.
Okay. I got this.
Facing this many foes calls for a more familiar approach.
Oh, is she gonna switch back to Reaper? Do it. That's how I imagine it looks every time I change. No.
Void scent can change their form at will. Both light and darkness are mine to wield. Besides, what better to purge darkness from the void than darkness itself?
Who dares face me? A mere mortal. Hast thou come in search of power? Renown? I fight to end this world without end. All who stand before me shall fall.
The Unmaking, now accessible. Okay. Music's good. Pop some food. I feel like I might have another slight delay in audio. Sovereign of Not, Inua. Raijin Stormbat.
All who dare oppose me shall quake before the silken dark.
Okay.
The Void's power is mine to wield. Perish.
Okay, that seems easy enough to understand.
Be still.
Now let's get to... Oh!
Accept your downfall. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you?
I've breached the darkness. Let the light guide you.
You must break free.
The underlings are no more. Now to deal with NOO.
Life and death rendered meaningless.
It's like Nabrialis 2.0.
Light, protect us.
I will not yield my domain!
Oh, wow.
Such is the power of the Void.
Goodness. Wait, we want to be like way out. Dang.
The Void's power is mine to wield. Thus did all boundaries cease to be. Behold the truth of this world! Accept your downfall. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still.
I'm not convinced I know how that mechanic works.
Perish. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still. Thus did all boundaries cease to be.
Okay. Let's go. GG, GG. That was something.
They must be sealed away.
Oh, my chat. It's everybody just saying GG, but still. Woo. Oh, let me get my player commendation. It wasn't quick enough.
I'm glad you came. We would have struggled to face Enuo alone. I presume you journeyed here to prevent more Void Scent from passing through the gate.
With Enuo defeated, there are none left in this realm who pose a serious threat. I dare say the problem is resolved.
Voids have been emerging from fissures across the source. Have you noticed any abnormalities in the void?
Nothing comes to mind. Why'd you ask? So the breach wasn't limited to the Void Gate. For better or worse, precious little has changed in the 13th since the Romus fell. Have you noticed anything unusual?
I know not the reason events have unfolded this way, but there is, perhaps, an explanation as to why the Void Gate and the fissures opened. here, in my domain, even the slightest change is keenly felt. When the gate opened, I sensed not the workings of some external force. Rather, it felt as if the barrier between our worlds was weakening naturally, moment by moment, until the two came to meet.
And you think this weakening could be happening elsewhere?
"'Tis a possibility.
What of Razatan and Garlemald? Eulus took mercy upon the interloper. Whether Void Sent or Garlean, we all share the same longing for home. Should we meet, I will gladly offer them aid. Please tell Eulus as much.
I will gladly pass that along for you.
Wait, how exactly did you get here? No mortal could traverse the Void Gate in its current state.
Well, I'm no mere mortal.
And this path of yours is still there. I cannot see it.
Really? So it is only visible to me.
Nor does it reveal itself to me. Perhaps the path serves only the key bearer.
So it is not a means to travel freely back and forth. A pity. I would have liked to see my friends again.
Soon. Soon. Don't you worry. I'm assuming that's the end of that cutscene. Now seems an opportune time to give Zero the parcel Jewel is prepared for. That key of yours intrigues me. Had my former self known of its existence, I might have sought different means to reach the source. Something for me. Package of dumplings. A grave presentiment. Presentiment? That smell. Food, is it? Ah, I recall Eulus speaking of the dumplings his mother used to make. Thank you for the parcel and the fond memories. There's more than enough to share with Golbez now that he forgoes the ether of others. I'm sure he'll appreciate the sustenance. I sometimes wonder what the Void would be like if culinary traditions flourished here once more. Whether it would suffice to break the cycle of mutual consumption. A heartening thought, if nothing else. Alright, steal that key. Beacon from beyond. Zero has something to discuss with you. What is it, Zero? Tell me. Until our battle earlier, I hadn't called upon darkness in some time. In truth, I find light a better fit these days. Ever since you left, we've been roaming the void in search of individuals who would join our cause. Although we returned to the Red Moon after sensing Inuo's presence, rarely do we linger in a single location. However, if the interloper you spoke of does intend to seek me out, it might be wise to return to my domain. Why don't you join us? With Inuo defeated, the soul should be in no imminent danger. Good. We'll wait for you by the crater. I presume you remember traveling by Nice Rock. Once we reach the surface, the creature will convey us to my domain. There is a teleporter situated between here and the center of the moon. I used it to travel to the surface in days long past, though I seldom need once my generals were in place. Igiorm herself crafted the device that I might lay low the servant of light. Ironic that we now use it seeking to restore it to the void. Ah, forgive my reminiscences. 'Tis time we made our descent. Travel to Zero's domain via the teleporter. There are many in this domain who still fear me. I shall remain here to avoid needless provocation. Though it was not always so, many who live here now have chosen to do so because they support the cause. Indeed, if our numbers continue to grow, we may require more territory. Thankfully, we were able to harness the residual ether from Barbaricia's domain. Those reserves will enable me to expand mine as the need arises. Right, we had best prepare for our potential guest. Join me in my abode when you are ready. Of course, I gotta talk to the locals first, though. You say the same thing? Yes. That must be Golbez. I would gladly consume his ether, if I stood the slightest chance of not being gobbled up first. Bleep, bloop. Ever since she brought you to this domain, our numbers have swelled. We grow tired of conflict. Yeah, there's definitely a delay again. It's another like half a second delay. Let me see. Siriato. Golbez is even stronger than Barbaricia was. Thought it best to keep out of his way. That said, our Farello tells me Golbez isn't so frightening these days. Perhaps he absorbed the will of someone less terrifying. Well, I appear to have made a complete recovery after the ignominy of starving to death. Maybe my fellow void sent here can be trusted. I waited an eternity for Zeromus to save this world, but my faith was misplaced. In the end, it was Zero who brought us hope. She's the reason I keep coming back here day after day. What? Leave me be. Zero is amazing! Golbez is equal in every sense. Truly, Golbez is equal in every sense. Squid-headed Voidsent. How are you faring, mortal? I've been training to alter my form, just like Zero. I'll be the very essence of beauty, just you wait and see. Can't go that way. Now, are there any other Voidsents? Yeah, the Troyan manservant. No longer will I partake of the ether of other beings, not even if I shrivel and starve. Because we gotta talk to Arilith. Like, we gotta experience the full story. Is there anyone up here for us to talk to? Nope, okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Oh, I just wasted a potion. Alright, let's talk to Zero in her house. Imagine you remember these, the transmitters we used to receive light from the first. If memory serves, they work by channeling excess ether left in the wake of the flood into the Crystal Tower. Using the tower's cross-drift travel capabilities, light is then conveyed onto the 13th and into these devices. I have a mind to use them now, but they'll need to be set in an elevated location. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. Well, I bet you now I'm gonna walk wherever I could have walked before. And I would have been better served. Yep. Should have talked to Zero first.
Upon activation, these transmitters will shine with light from beyond, sent courtesy of our ever-watchful friends. They will serve as beacons in the dark for those that would seek me out.
There he is.
Immortal Nullis. I did not expect to see you here.
I am Zero, and this is my domain. 'Tis a safe haven for those who abhor conflict. Among those gathered here, many aspire to restore this world to how it once was.
Such a thing is possible.
Indeed. Though how long the endeavor will take, I cannot say. But for those of us abandoned by death itself, what do we have but time to try, and try again?
Very well. this ample your comrades spoke true. However long it takes to restore our world, you shall have my aid.
And you shall have mine.
Nice. It would seem Eurus's intervention has helped forge a new bond. Thank you for bringing word to me. I gather you'll head home soon rather than later. You will not be able to freely return to Zero's domain. Are you certain you wish to leave? Yes. Then let us return to the Red Moon. I'm sure you won't begrudge me a proper farewell. Not at all! Not at all.
Would you deliver a message to Eurus for me? Tell him that we're making progress towards rebuilding our home. And I hope that he is too.
Enuo's Memoria will be safe here. The crystal containing Zeromus has been passed on to our allies in the First.
How?
If Enuo's Memoria might serve them in restoring their world, we shall likewise consider its transfer.
Did we do that?
How much simpler it would be to aid one another in our respective fights, were it not for these boundaries between us. Safe travels, my friend. We take comfort in the knowledge that you're out there fighting too, wherever you may be.
See ya! So she just disappeared
No luck,
right
I'm
here.
afraid. It appears she's not in Mare Lamentorum.
Wait. Is that?
No, it's Xenos.
God, you had us worried. You suddenly disappeared. We didn't know what to think.
I think we're done with voice acting
Shortly
now.
after you vanished,
Nope.
the Void Sent incursion abruptly ended. We surmised you had a hand in that, but never did it cross our minds that you were fighting alongside Zero and Golbez.
This golden path you said you traversed wasn't visible to us either. Nor did we hear a voice. Ethos. Might this be the key's true name?
Probably.
While many mysteries remain, for now, I am glad to learn the state of affairs in the 13th. Golbez's suspicion that the barrier twixt worlds has begun to weaken. 'Twould certainly explain the surge in fissures manifesting in the source.
Yet what could be behind such a phenomenon?
Ah, yes!
And who might you be?
Not her void scent, I'd wager.
Greetings. I am Helmarut of the Asians. We are your sworn foes, I know. But on this occasion, will you not put away your arms? I wish only to talk. Thank you for affording me a chance.
Bereft of the Unsundered, we were under the impression you and yours no longer had cause to continue your activities. That you should reveal yourself at this juncture. I assume you are the one who bestowed Calyx with the knowledge of summoning and the reflections.
Yes, that is correct.
Was it necessary to reveal my present form as well?
Calyx. So he succeeded in transferring his memories after all.
I mean, we could just kick him.
Even were I to occupy a combat-oriented vessel, I would not have the ability to defeat you.
We could just chuck him into the Void Gate.
You destroyed my plan, my life's work. I have naught to replace it, nor will I ever regain what I once had.
If you wish to speak, Helmarut, will you not tell us what it is that you hope to accomplish?
As you know, our star Aetheris was sundered into 4 and 10 shards in the time of the Ancients. As the will of the star, Hydaelyn perpetuated this unnatural division for millennia. And in the wake of her passing, nature has begun to reassert itself. As a wound knits itself together, the star seeks to become whole once more. Yes, it seeks to rejoin with all of its shards. Unlike the one we Asians attempted to orchestrate, however, the star's rejoining will afford mankind no special treatment. All life and matter will be condensed into a single whole and remade for a new beginning. A complete rebirth. Aetheris will return to the way it once was. Hundreds of millions of years past. To a quiet and peaceful time. Long before the light of mankind was kindled.
Supposing for a moment we believe you, how can you possibly know all this?
It is an inevitability that I have foreseen since time immemorial. A future that awaits should creation be freed from the influence of Hydaelyn and Zodiark. The star is tolerant to life. It holds no grudges, and neither rages nor weeps for being sundered. Yet by the same token, it is indifferent to life's survival. No amount of devastation and death can compel it to stop the wheels of creation from turning. The earth shakes, and mountains spew fire. Floods wash away the fruits of labor, and icy winds freeze and starve. Countless perish as nature runs its course. So many seeds of life have already been lost, yet in spite of this, people continue to believe that the morrow will come. But it will not. For nothing lies beyond the solstice, when all creation is reunited. When that day comes, every last trace of mankind shall be erased. I cherish man's journey. Despite losing his innocence and being made to live with suffering, he has forged ever onward. Strong, even as he is weak, his is a proud tale in the history of the star. It would be a shame for that tale to end. For all to wither and die, when some might yet survive. Would you?
Whoops. My bad. Would you not agree?
If a natural rejoining doth lead unto the solstice, then thine intent is to preemptively rejoin the worlds.
Correct. It was for this very purpose that Halmarut recruited suitable collaborators from the Reflections. Individuals like me, who would willingly doom another world in order to fulfill their aspirations. The Winterers, we are called. And if you and yours seek to protect all life, then sooner or later you shall have to contend with us.
That's not a problem, buddy. We got expansions after expansions to do this.
Even if everything you claim is true, what you've done, Calyx, it's unforgivable!
I do not ask that you be pragmatic, nor do I seek your approval. Given your familiarity with other reflections, 'tis only natural that you are averse to our methods. But there is one irrefutable fact that you must understand. Should we take no action at all, the solstice will come, and no one will be left alive. No one. Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit.
Yo!
Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
That's his scythe. Oh, Folly, which is Bridget's character, my wife. She's gonna hate Halmarith. Not my wife. Folly. Folly and Xenos had a thing. Alright, we gotta talk to everyone first. To think that individuals of Calyx's ilk or worse exist on the other shards. You'll have to forgive me, I'm still coming to terms with it all. Oh, stop. Halmarith can't be speaking the truth, can she? Alright, Alpha No Chocobo. The way I'm tempted to dismiss a preemptive and rejoining as an utterly absurd solution. The words are not to be taken lightly. Trust the Ascians to be plotting something utterly reprehensible. The Ascians once labored to resurrect Zodiac and bring back those who rendered up their lives to summon him. For the sake of those who now live, we fought tirelessly to oppose them. Halmarith doth truly seek a rejoining to avert this solstice, to ensure some survive when otherwise all would perish, and our interests are not so disparate. There you are! One moment you were standing before me, and the next you'd vanished into thin air. Thanks to you all, the void scent have been eradicated, and the gate lies sealed once more. There's been nary a peep from the crater. Though I can't help but notice none of you seem to share my enthusiasm. Is something wrong? The star seeks to become whole. But that's preposterous! As far as I'm aware, Heidelin made no mention of a natural rejoining. I ought to consult the records to be certain, but not before thanking you for dispatching the void scent so handily. You well and truly saved the day. Trail to the heavens. The implications of the solstice and the winter's schemes, as well as our approach moving forward, will take time to consider. To that end, I believe we should gather and speak in person. And by we, I mean all our fellow scions. For a change of pace, why don't we convene at the Rising Stones? I'm sure Tataru and the others would be happy to meet us there. A fine idea. In many ways, our return is long overdue. No doubt we could all use some respite after Garlemald, and I trust there are no objections. 'Tis settled then. To the Rising Stones. I want to see something super quick. What is the new series? So we have the Conduct emote, Framers Kit, Little Blue Viking Minion, Maelstrom, Rule Breakers attire. Alright, I might have to do PvP again. Okay, the Rising Stones. That's Revenant's Toll. Do you think we'll ever return to the Waking Sands? Pray return to the Waking Sands. At times like this, the company of friends is all the more precious. In spite of time's vicissitudes, some things endure. The sanctuary is surely among them. Since leaving for Tyrol, we've been almost constantly on the move. It feels good to put my feet up in familiar stamping grounds. Feels like a lifetime ago I first set foot within these walls. Though given we've all experienced a lifetime's worth of triumphs and tribulations in the interim, perhaps that is only natural. There was much and more to take care of in Garlemald, even after tending to the wounded. I shall be sure to share a full report with Ojika. 'Tis a pity my stay in Tyrol came to such an abrupt end. I should like to make arrangements to remain in touch with Shale. Nary a thing has changed since we last gathered here. No doubt Tataru is chiefly responsible for the prevailing state of tidiness. Speaking of whom, she and a great many of our comrades are en route. Let us wait for them a while longer. Who's coming back? Ochre Boulder? Ori Boulder? Coltonay? My friend.
Long it hath been since last we gathered here. Though our order's dissolution was indeed in name only, thereafter we did largely operate independent of one another. All of which is to say, full glad am I to stand in such esteemed company once more.
Apologies for our delay.
It is Hoary Boulder. There's a lot of friends.
We're reporting for duty, as bid.
This is everyone that we could round up on short notice. The others are still en route. Estinian alone we weren't able to make contact with. But we're working on it.
Of
No
course
doubt
we
his
couldn't make
link
contact
pearl
with
is
Stinian.
buried at the bottom of his bag.
Knowing him, he'll turn up when we least expect it.
Now, as much as I'd like to savor our reunion, Tataru tells us there have been developments. Will you apprise us of the details?
Of course. I'm so glad, like, some of these people are back.
The Winterers and the Solstice.
The veracity of Halmarut's claims remains unclear. Yet it cannot be denied that, in his bid to convert the living into endless, Calyx was privy to knowledge of the reflections and more.
And the Winterers are formed of others, like him.
In light of the recent Void Sense incursions, I believe it would be wise to treat the Solstice as a genuine threat. The problem is how to deal with it.
Both the Source and the Reflections are home to irreplaceable life. I would protect them all if I could. But if doing so means ushering in complete annihilation, then what can we possibly do?
I wonder, was Hydaelyn aware of the solstice?
It doesn't sound like it.
Given that we had no knowledge of it when you journeyed to Elpis, you couldn't have warned Venar. So it is entirely possible she was unaware. But in the course of sustaining the Sundered Star, she may have glimpsed this eventuality.
What if we go back now? What if we New Game Plus and tell her now? I don't think she had any way of knowing. I think she knew and chose to trust in us. I'm going with that one.
So she believed that we could overcome this trial as well. Or rather, that the choice was ours to make.
Whichever it may be, it is we who must find the answer. We who live in the here and now.
Perhaps we could take a recess? Oh, I dare say everyone could use a rest.
Yes.
Indeed. We have ample food for thought, and it would be good to catch each other up.
Ere I forget, Heron, I believe you should keep the key, Ethos, in your possession.
Oh yeah?
After all, it seems that is one mystery I am not destined to unravel.
Alright, Stola. Now there's so many people to talk to. Okay, well let's start with Coltonay. This latest development is indeed a shock, but I am heartened to see not a single face clouded with despair, and Ephemi. I helped repel the Void-Sent incursion in Lapis Manalis. Fighting off fiend-controlled Galatia was something I won't rush to relive, but it was nonetheless good training. Alright, Hoary Boulder. Coltonay and I had remained in Corvos to monitor the situation among the Garleans and the Corvosi. It was seldom smooth sailing. In time the region settled and we were able to return. I understand the Garlean community has made great strides in improving relations with other peoples. Hearing that, I feel renewed zeal for resolving the issues in Corvosi. And perhaps you'd like to hear more about the Garleans' accomplishments from me and the twins. Might stoke that fire even hotter. Don't worry about me. I'm sure you've plenty to discuss with these old faces. I don't suppose your adventures have taken you to Corvos, but it still bears the scars of war. 'Tis a beautiful region and well worth a visit. We'll head there eventually, buddy. It was by no means an easy decision, but as the solstice is now our paramount concern, Alize and I have opted to formally withdraw from our efforts in Garlemald. After all, anything we can do to protect our world will also serve to keep the Garleans safe. Ulysses and his comrades are already working towards a brighter future of their own accord. Honestly, I'm more worried about us. It's so difficult to see the path ahead, but hopefully we can get through this and return to Garlemald with our heads held highward. Indeed. In the meantime, let us prepare a letter for Ulysses and the community. We mustn't let despair stay our hand. We hardly had time to catch up with Mother and Father back in Charlayan. I hope they don't take umbrage at so brief a visit. It seems our colleagues have much to catch each other up on. I shall have to brew some tea. Tataru is ever the considerate facilitator. Grateful am I to refrain from weighty discussion and simply converse with old friends. After Uriange and I went off on our own, we decided to spend some time exploring Jacques Tarol. We never had the chance to visit during the Rite of Succession, you see. We journeyed east through Lower Zenihita before heading up the coast to the frigid northern reaches, where they revere a storied beast of the sea. The excursion only served to reinforce just how diverse Tarol really is. We also met with the Wallaki, though we had not the time to study their arts at length. We are privy to several intriguing demonstrations. Would that we could have indulged our curiosity further and traveled to yet more distant lands. For better or for worse, pragmatism tempered our wanderlust. past. Suffice it to say, we still have plenty to see of the continent. I should very much like to return, given the chance. Apparently, the landscape in the far south of Yogg-Toroil is quite unique as well. I can see why Ketenram was so enamored with the vastness of it. Oh, Aenor, I hoped you'd come to your senses, but I see you're still in the throes of withdrawal. The brothers are reunited, yet a distance between them persists. How cruel fate is to force me to choose. Judging by your guise, Clemens, your studies must have been productive. Indeed, I have more or less mastered the fundamental principles of Sharlayan astrology. At one point I considered exploring other healing arts, but decided to persevere with more focused training to better leverage my skills on the battlefield. I don't think I'd be much use on the battlefield these days. I can scarcely hold my bow steady, let alone hit a target. So sorely bereft of brotherly ministrations as I am. I knew you still required constant supervision. You two haven't changed in the slightest. It makes me wonder how our colleagues that couldn't join us today are faring. Even after discussing the revelations concerning Calyx, there was a great deal to share. 'Tis difficult to know where to begin. Hearing our comrades' tales reminds me of my efforts to master pictomancy. We've all come so far, striven so hard. What does your stroller have to say now? Seeing the two siblings together made me think of my sisters and half-sisters. All 12 of us actually had the opportunity to gather not so long ago. Did I talk to Thancred? Oh, yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if I had talked to him. Where did Flamingo? Flamingo. No, but where did she go? Aenor and I were traveling in Gridania when Voids had attacked the Twelveswood. Thankfully, we were able to fend them off with the help of the Twin Adders. When I heard the invasion had already spread across the star, I realized the gravity of the situation and ordered confidential reports into the other silos. That's why Tataru was so quickly apprised. Thanks to you, we were able to make haste for Garlemald. While circumstance and duty may keep us apart, we remain bound by common purpose. Indeed, may that purpose continue to guide us now that we stand together once more. I hadn't seen Hori for some time until today. Hopefully he gets a sense of the progress I've made since last we met. It seems everyone has much and more to discuss with one another. Anyway, you're overdue for a proper break. The peace and quiet will help you think. Feel free to make yourself comfortable in Dawn's respite. Here we go. Give us more, Halmaret. Give us more. Oh no, this is us.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
I detest evenings such as this. Too bright, too stimulating. The mind distracted by the inconsequential.
Oh, there he is.
You needn't be so wary. I merely come to offer information before my departure.
Okay.
Halmarut and I will soon cross the rift to observe the enactment of another Winter's plan. Our destination is the fourth. A world locked in ice, whose lands are blanketed in thick clouds. In order to survive, man has fled to the skies, using great magics to establish new civilizations.
Why tell me where you're going?
I have my own designs I would see realized. Nothing more.
Uh-huh.
Believe me or don't, as you like. For all I know, you lack the means to follow us anyway. What Halmarut said to you earlier. She suggested that dealing with the reflections might satisfy your ambition.
But is that truly
so? You have
so?
seen battles beyond counting, have defeated even the fear of death. Is there some conclusion that you seek, no matter the cost?
Yes. That faint little smile.
I will share with you a truth. We Winterers each have an ambition that we wish to fulfill. To that end, we may share information with one another, but we do not necessarily share the same beliefs. Just as you and yours decried my actions, I find those of my fellows objectionable. Be that as it may, it is the culmination of our lives' works that we would bring to the world, fruits born of undying devotion, daring aspiration, and unwavering ideals. No matter how we are reviled, no matter what we must steal, our actions will be vindicated by those who abide in the future we create. In your benevolence, you may seek to save everything and everyone. But once all is consequently consigned to oblivion, your noble deeds will amount to nothing more than folly. For no living soul shall remain to judge them.
If shattered stars are doomed to mend, how turns the key to winter's end? Dang. All right, that was good. That was good. Now, we need to talk to everyone again. And then we'll end this video. I wonder whose voice it was that named the key Ethos. The more we learn, the more mysteries abound. When you have a moment, I should like to hear more of your trip to the 13th. You ought to let Euless know you met with Zero. I'm sure he'll wish to hear she's faring well. We must needs ascertain the veracity of Halmurid's claims. I shall send word to my colleagues in Charlie, and they may be able to offer us valuable insight. As the word of the mother, Minfilia conveyed the will of the star. Surely she would have known if nature itself ran counter to that will. I'll let you know when discussions are set to resume. Until then, please do get some rest. Your tales of Tyrol reach Corvus even today. I'd like to hear of your adventures next time we meet. I've been making headway with my training, but I have a long way to go compared to present company. I look forward to learning from the very best again someday. Alphino and Alize saw fit to relinquish their responsibilities in Garlemald and concentrate on the fight ahead. I shall likewise be reprising my duties as a scion wherever they may take me. Clemens, Ainur, at least feign a little interest in your sister. This obsession has gone too far. Looks like there's a lull in the conversation. Now, this is my chance. I will continue to keep abreast of the situation in Garlemald via reports from the Yilsabad contingent. Should another crisis arise, we will not hesitate to provide our support. Sounds like you faced a tough fight in the Void. I know your instinct is to charge into the fray, but even heroes need rest. Knowing that a connection persists between the 1st and the 13th fills me with joy. Alright. Well, with that, thanks so much for watching, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below and let me know what you thought of it. And to go follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here, where I stream sporadically at the moment. It's a lot of Phasmophobia. Anyway, I love you, YouTube, and I will see you around.